Ahoy class, welcome to week one of digital photography. I'm your instructor, Carol Record, and I will be guiding you through this course. Each week is going to be about the same. There'll be two discussions. This week there's three because you've got your intro, but there'll be two discussions. One will be like a little bit of a writing assignment. The other one will be some sort of photography or editing exercise. So you will need to have Photoshop or something similar, preferably Adobe Creative Suite since that's the industry standard, and Adobe Bridge and Camera Raw, which are all part of the Creative Suite. And then each week you'll have readings. You'll have, I'll put together a vocabulary list just so you know like what terms you should be learning. And then you'll have a photo assignment, and each week will alternate between either a quiz or a writing assignment. So this week is very reading heavy because we've got a lot to cover in order to be able to just jump in. So I hope you already have your textbook, the Better Photo Guide to Digital Photography, because we'll be going through chapters 1 through 4 this week. But don't freak out, it's mostly images and diagrams. But we will be covering things like getting to know your camera and figuring out what to shoot, which I highly recommend reading that chapter because it's going to cover things like pre-visualization and stuff like that, so if you are struggling with ideas, it'll give you some good tips. File formats, quality settings, and resolution, and then exposure. Exposure, your photo assignment for this week is based on exposure. You're going to learn and practice underexposing, overexposing, and creating a photo with a normal exposure. I'm trying to set up all of the projects so that you can use a smartphone if you don't want to get a DSLR. If you're using an iPhone, I recommend an app called Halide. And if you're using an Android, I think it's Procam X. Under the course overview, there's an equipment page where I've mentioned some specific apps and stuff. However, if you have a DSLR or can borrow one or rent one for this course, you will get the most out of this course. Having a DSLR gives you much more control over what you're doing, but the phone apps do give you some manual control. The problem is that like a phone, it has a fixed focal length lens, and you'll learn more about the technical stuff, but you can do a lot with your phone. So if you don't want to shell out for a DSLR because this is your only photography class, I completely understand. But if you are interested in really learning photography and possibly pursuing this as a passion or professionally later on down the road, do let me know if you'd like some extra assistance because there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with a DSLR camera. And I'm just going to say DSLR camera, but it could be a mirrorless camera, any pro level camera that has interchangeable lenses. So this week, the first thing you're going to want to do is go introduce yourself in the introductions forum, and then get to reading chapters 1 through 4 of your textbook. I've put together a vocabulary page as a guide. You don't have to define all of these. What I would recommend is look at these terms before you read so you have an idea of what terms to really pay attention to when you come across them. And then when you get done with your reading, go back and look at this list. And if there's something that you could not describe or define on a quiz, then go like write it out so that you can learn it. And I would like to encourage you to use the terminology from the vocabulary pages in your discussions and stuff. Like, this is the language of photography, so this is what you're going to want to learn. Then you're going to have two discussions this week. One is like an influences thing. You've got to go find an image and like share some information about why it appeals to you. And then the other one is a little mini photo assignment on controlling depth of field. You have a camera survey worksheet to complete. You're going to want to go look at the manual for your camera, the specs for your phone, and write out what its capabilities are. And then you will take the camera survey. This is a graded assignment, but you can do it as many times as you need to if you don't have all the information. There's also not a time limit on it. And in it, it will ask you for the camera specs and the features that your camera has, which I need to know. I need to know what kind of cameras y'all are using so that I can tailor this towards you. And then I believe I'll also put a question there like, I want to know what skills or subject matter you are interested in learning or photographing. I have a plan for this course. I am going to unlock the weeks as we go along, but like the first 4 weeks are kind of like planned out, like pretty solid. But the last 4 weeks, I would like to customize based on what you're interested in. So do let me know what you're interested in. And if you have interests that pop up as we move along in the weeks, just make a post in the class discussion forum or send me an email, and I'll try and tweak some assignments for y'all. And then last but not least, every week will end with a visual critique. So you'll have a photo assignment every week, and then you'll have a visual critique. So when you submit your photo assignment, you're also going to post it in the visual critique discussion forum so that you can get feedback from fellow students and from me. Now, in an ideal situation, this course would not be an 8-week course. It would be a full semester. It's really hard to fit studio classes into an 8-week session. You know, in a normal semester, I'd give you an assignment and we would meet and we would critique it, and then you'd go and you'd continue to work on it as needed, whether that's editing or reshooting. But for the sake of time, this is just how we have to do it. However, for your visual critique, I want you to take that feedback and think about, like, if you were to redo this project, or if you were to do something similar in the future, you know, like the feedback you get, like, you know, add that to your brain and then pull from it in the future so you can continue to grow and develop your skills. Class critique is one of the best and most useful ways to grow as an artist, getting that feedback. So when you're giving feedback, be sure, you know, like, be nice, but remember that critique, it's not personal. It's subjective, and it's learning. You know, what you think people are going to see when they look at your images isn't always what people see. And you need to hear feedback on what people see, how your images make them feel. You know, they might notice little technical problems and stuff that you didn't notice. And, you know, just take all of that and learn from it. It's the best. Critique is the best part of art school, if you haven't learned that already. So, yeah, you've got a ton to do this week. Good luck. Do reach out to me if you need any help, any assistance, if you need me to elaborate on anything. I will be traveling, I will be road tripping from Florida to Ohio this week, so I'll be on the road the first half of the week. I'll be checking my email, but when I get settled back in Ohio, if you need assistance with anything, I can make some videos and put together some material then to help supplement what we already have. So welcome to the class, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you.